But yeah, college baseball stuff. Let's get to that. Some series wins for Illinois schools. Northern Illinois they keep winning. They won their series over Massachusetts 2-1. They're now 18-9 overall. They're 10-5 in the MAC. Southern Illinois won their series over Illinois State 2-1. Eastern Illinois won their series over Tennessee Tech. They are 17-11 overall, and they are 7-2 in the OVC. Northwestern won their series over Michigan State, and then SIUE won their series over Southern Indiana. They are 16-15 on the year, 8-1 in the OVC, and they are at the top of the standings in the OVC with Eastern Illinois tied for second right behind them. So some Illinois teams having good weekends, and so far good years as well for some of these schools.
The NIU thing fires me up, Gavin. Sorry. I think I've talked about him maybe the last week or two, but man, just shout out to Coach Copeland. I think he's quickly establishing himself as a winner at every level. He won at Illinois Springfield. Now he's doing big things at NIU. I think it's really remarkable. And I don't say this to disparage like the previous coaching staff or anything, but he took over that job in kind of a tough spot. So the fact that they're doing so well, I just can't say enough good things about what Coach Copeland's staff's doing up there.
Yeah, and he's done that for a long time. Like, not that Illinois Springfield was ever in a bad spot either. Like, I played against them, for a few years there, and they were always very solid. But when he he took them to another level. Like, they were top 3 in like the country at one point. They were one of the best teams I ever played against. So, it's not surprising that he's doing it again. And I think he's just gonna keep doing it wherever he goes, is what it seems like. So, yeah, pretty cool to see, especially like with the amount of Illinois guys he's doing it with too. Like, there's a ton of Illinois guys. Some of them are like leading the country, or like close to leading the country in certain things, like certain stat lines. I don't have them in front of me right now, but it's just cool just to see like the throwback names that they got that he's got doing it for him.
And Nick, this will fire you up. Your boy Vice Villa was getting a ton of love on the D1 Baseball podcast, one of the ones I was listening to from last week. I want to say it was the D1 Daily one with Mike Rooney and Chris Burke, but they were giving Vice Villa a ton of love. So good for NIU and good for Max over there too.
Well, one note that I saw, and I think you guys probably saw it too, Pete, you might have sent something in our group chat about this, but Cam Appenzeller at Glenwood, he's having a terrific season as a freshman in the SEC, but the other day against LSU, he threw 5 innings in relief. I think maybe the first, or I guess he had 6 strikeouts, allowed 1 hit, no runs or walks, but he retired like 15 batters in a row. That's super impressive for a freshman in college in general, but then also when you factor in that it's in the SEC against LSU, like that is super impressive. And on the year, he's thrown 31 in a third innings. He has 35 strikeouts and only 4 walks, 4 earned runs on the year. Like, that's absurd. And it doesn't really surprise any of us seeing the low walk numbers, just knowing Cam, what we saw from him in high school. Just the kid just is a competitor. He has always kind of been a winner, and he throws a ton of strikes. And good for Cam. Rooting for him. He is a Glenwood grad in the Springfield area. So shout out to Cam.
And you mentioned Glenwood. I'm sitting there watching MLB Network the other night, and you got Reed Detmers starting on the mound. I think he went like 6 innings, gave up 1 run, struck out a bunch of guys, fighting for a starting role there with the Anaheim Angels. It's kind of crazy how many good players, I was thinking about it, have come out of that Springfield Glenwood area. Because you got the Matons. Phil Maton's been pitching for the Cubs. But then you go over to Rochester and you have Tyler Fitzgerald. You go to Sacred Heart, you got Sam Antonacci. So it is nuts. That little 10-mile little circle right there around Springfield, how many good players have come out of there. And I'm forgetting some guys too.
Well, Jason Worth, I feel like, is a big one that I just saw a video of the other day. I always forget that I think he went to Springfield High School, which I always forget about that.
It might have been Glenwood.
Too. Was it Glenwood?
Okay. It might have been, yeah. And that's a great call out because he was kind of like the first, big one that I remember in the big leagues and all that. Because I mean, Reed Detmers, his younger brother Parker, he's at Louisville right now. I think he's battling an injury, but he's one to watch here in the upcoming drafts. And there's more to come. But no, that's a great call out.
Yeah, if I can get in here, my For You page on X has just been popping with Illinois guys doing really great stuff at like both the college and pro level. Like I'm kind of just gonna go rapid fire here, and if anybody wants to cut me off, feel free. But like Connor Essenberg, draft pick out of Lincoln Way West High School last summer, hit his first pro homer on Sunday for the Braves. You got Dayton Murphy out of Crystal Lake South. Nick, pop your collar. As of Saturday, he took over. He's now taken back over the starting shortstop job for Michigan State. And entering Saturday, he has a 360 batting average and a 10% strikeout percentage, which is just obviously a very high bat to ball profile. Ben Hess, Charleston grad, right, Drew? I know he predates me. But his first start in Double-A with the Yankees, he's like arguably their top pitching prospect. He might be the top for them. Had earned the win on the mound, 5 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 3 hits, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts, and at one point he had struck out 7 in a row in the outing. So he's doing great things. Well, Ethan, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I saw your Ben Hess note, and it made me want to put in a couple other notes. I'll let you get back to some of the other guys coming through, but like on the pro level, Ben Hess was our number 1 prospect out of Charleston, went to Alabama. But Noah Schultz, left-hander out of Oswego East, he was drafted by the White Sox out of high school. He's got like pushed to AAA right out of spring training. And I was just looking up his stats because I knew he had like a couple good starts, but he's thrown 9 innings so far. He's given up 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 10 strikeouts at the AAA level. Sam Antonacci's been tearing it up at the AAA level too. And I just like one nugget I saw come across the X was the White Sox now with like the updated, I don't know how often they do that, but when they update the top 100 prospects in the MLB, the White Sox have 7 of them. And it's just really cool because like the Illinois guys are impacting that list as well. I think the only team that has more is the Brewers with 8, which is kind of nuts if you think about like the present ability of the Brewers and how much they win, and then the prospects they have coming up as well. So just I wanted to interject there real quick and get my little notes in there. But yeah, keep going. Because I think, you have another White Sox prospect you'll mention in here as well.
Yeah, and I might as well just start there. Jaden Fauske, recent draft pick of the White Sox out of Nazareth Academy last summer, had a triple off the wall for his first professional hit in the A-ball level, I guess, because he was playing in that like transition league right after he got drafted. I don't know if they count any of those stats toward his pro line, but regardless, in this first weekend in A-ball, he went 4 for 10. He had 2 doubles, a triple. I think what's really impressive, he had 4 walks to 2 strikeouts the first weekend. I think anytime you're a left-handed hitter with that type of like power profile and you're gonna walk more than you strike out, like if he can sustain that, he's gonna rise through the pro or the minor league levels really quick. Elsewhere, you have Ethan Eberle out of over there at Louisville, out of Normal Community versus Duke last week. He struck out 15 over 5 2/3, only allowed 1 walk. At the time, it had been the most strikeouts in a single ACC game this year. I would imagine that that's still holding as of now, but just ridiculous stuff out of Ethan there. And then the last note I have is James Love out of Joliet West. He's over at Eastern Illinois. Entering April 2nd, he had a triple slash line of 319, 480, 571, which is at the time obviously an OPS over 1,000. And he's getting draft love as well. I believe next he's eligible in 2027. So we'll see, but like that's awesome for James. I know I got to see him a couple times his senior year at Joliet West. So love to see that he's doing well, especially for an Illinois program.
I'm gonna jump in here because we mentioned Connor Essenberg getting drafted out of high school by the Braves, hitting his first home run. You got Jaden Fauske, and like immediately my head starts thinking, all right, These are guys we had seen forever. And I went back to the 2025 rankings. Like Jaden Fauske was our number 2 ranked prospect. Connor Essenberg was number 4. You go down the list, you got Enzo Infelice, you got Ethan Moore, you got Gavin Triesenberg, Jack Wheeler. All these guys were within our top 20. All those guys were down at the future games, at the junior future games for Team Illinois the same year. All of those guys playing down there. I think at the time we had 2 Illinois teams, so I don't know if they were necessarily on the same exact team, but they represented Illinois at the junior future games. And as we're kind of entering the spring here and we've got our Rising Stars events coming up, like it starts early. And man, like the fact that those guys were studs at that 7th, 8th grade level and they maintained studs, by the time they were seniors in high school, got drafted, now they're doing their thing. And whether it's college, I mean, I look at a lot of these guys. You got Enzo Infelice. He's one of the best freshman hitters in the country. You got Ethan Moore at Tennessee. But then you've got Gavin Triesenberg making a name for himself at Arizona. You've got Jack Wheeler that was a draft out of high school. So like we had a bunch of drafts out of high school. We had a bunch of guys that are impacting teams as freshmen in college. Just really, really cool to see. And it fires me up for like this next crop of rising stars, because 6 years down the road, you find out about, okay, where do these guys go? All this stuff. And the fact that we've been doing it long enough, especially, Pete, I know you've been here a long time. I've been doing this for a while. Seeing these guys like get to that level is just really cool to look back and be like, holy cow, all these guys were on the junior future games down in, Georgia with us. So just wanted to interject there. And you gave, Nick DiBenedetto a little shout out for Crystal Lake South. I'm gonna get in there. Naperville North, Tanner Malley. We mentioned him maybe 3 episodes again. Like absolutely raking for Western Michigan, was leading the country in hitting. I went back just to see an update. Like you got to cool down when you're hitting over 500 in Division I baseball, right? Guy's still hitting 510. He's hitting 510 right now. He's got 5 doubles, 2 triples, an OBP of 625. He has walked 13 times and he's struck out twice. He's also been hit by 17 pitches. That's got to be close to leading the country. So just giving Naperville North some love there. Tanner Malley, love to see it. And sorry, because I know there were a couple other guys we were getting in on here maybe, but just wanted to get in there while that was fresh in my mind with Connor Essenberg and Jane Fauske. Because you mentioned the triple he hit. I also saw like one of his next at bats lines a double to the opposite field, got to the wall in a hurry. He's always been that polished hitter, like that pro hitter ever since he was young. And that's not going to change. And I love to see him actually impacting it at that pro level.
Yeah, one of the cooler stories that I have seen recently is, especially for Cubs fans, Riley Martin made his debut yesterday. We're recording on Tuesday, so on Monday. So he's from Salem High School, I believe. What, Drew, was he a 2016 grad? I think
that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he was at Quincy, Division II. Played against him. He was every bit of 85 to 88. I mean, he was a really good pitcher. Could spin a breaking ball, left-handed. And, I mean, just looking through his stat lines, like, he did not strike out more, like, he didn't have any more strikeouts than innings pitched until his senior year of 2020, which was shortened to COVID. So the story with him is he was there, for the first 3 years, then COVID hit. Basically, the year got washed out, and he went to pharmacy school and essentially dropped out of that, went back for a 5th year, and I was at Quincy maybe a year and a half ago for a scout day with John Wood, talking with the coach, and there was just a little mechanical thing, a little mechanical cue. He came out throwing 95, like basically right after that mechanical fix. So he went from 85 to 88 to like low mid 90s, and then proceeded to throw a 78.2 innings that year with 152 strikeouts and only 34 walks. So going from not being a strikeout pitcher to then striking out everybody basically and like leading the country in strikeouts, and then signing in the 6th round, working your way up all the way, and then to making your debut. That had to be so cool for him. I mean, I saw the video, like it was like you could just tell he was in awe, and that was just really cool to see. Just especially coming from like seeing that kid on the mound 30 feet away, being like 85 to 88, and then just coming that far was super cool to me. And man, hopefully he can help the Cubs out with that bullpen situation a little bit too, because he had a good inning. He was like 96 with a breaking ball. It was pretty
Was he
good.
really? I didn't see
Yeah.
it. Um, I had no idea his numbers were that nuts, but it also to me speaks of like all these kids that are chasing velo at such a young age. And Pete said it, like he was 85, 88. He had to pitch. Like he had to figure out how to pitch to get outs at the Division two level. And then all of a sudden, like the guys that turn out to be the best of the best are guys that can always pitch, have pitched at a young level or a young age at a high level, and then they get the velo. And then the velo comes and they've already figured out how to pitch. And then it's like, oh, okay, I was 85, 88. Now I'm 92, 94, and I can trust my fastball and do this and still pitch. And it just makes them that much better. I think of just Owen Murphy. Like that's just a name that always came to mind. Like that kid flat out pitched. He was a future gamer for us as an underclassman, like the year below everybody else. And he was 82, 85, 86, but could flat pitch, could spin the breaking ball. And then, he just gradually progressed and the velo got up there. And then by the time he's a senior, he's striking out everybody, pitching at 90, 94, not walking a single guy. And I mean, he was just littering our Player of the Week awards his senior year. But that's just the trajectory that I think these guys are missing a little bit, is they're chasing this velo at such a young age. I also think that, can increase some injury risk too. Like bodies aren't supposed to move that fast and throw that hard at that young of age, but like, let's not forget to learn how to pitch and then, yeah, work your tail off in the weight room and do all the, arm care stuff and do all the velocity programs. But man, pitching needs to be first and foremost and then get that velocity to come. I'm not a huge believer in let's get the velo first and then figure out how to pitch. Like figure out how to get guys out, with average velo, and then let's get the velo on top of that.
It's kind of like Cam Appenzeller, right, Drew?
100%. He was always a silky smooth mover. I mean, I think we saw him for the first time at Rantoul in the video. He was like 82, 85 maybe. I'd have to go back to the profile to look, but I know it was like he immediately emerged on our list of like, man, it was the Future Games year, this like the June of the Future Games year, and we were all like amazed by the video, just at how good he moved, the body, the left-handedness. He was getting guys out through strikes, and it wasn't able to go to the Future Games. He rolled his ankle like right before it or something like that, and then comes to our battle for the arch in the fall and was dynamite. Like the velo had kind of ticked up a little bit. I think he was in the middle of golf season too. He was a big time golfer. But yeah, just steadily got stronger. The velo ticked up. It's the guys that have the good movement patterns, that can spin a breaking ball, that have a quick arm. Those guys always tend to make jumps, and it comes at different times for other people. But yeah, he was just a steady incline guy. And then by the time he's a senior, he's touching some real big numbers. And, with the way he moves and the velo and the overall polish to his repertoire and the ease, he was always super easy. So that was a big thing for Cam. But no, that's another great call out on like that same kind of just don't chase the velo early, learn how to pitch, be a good mover, be an athlete. I think being an athlete is huge. And he could always spin it too. It's always a plus. Like Owen Murphy, Cam Appenzeller, if you can spin the breaking ball, that's gonna be advantageous for you down the road. Spin wins, as Shooter Hunt would say.